Is sending your autistic child off to the local public school a huge mistake? We hear these horrible stories in the media of abuse and mistreatment of special needs children, and it is really scary. And it is true. I have been a teacher for 10 years, and we're required every few years to do abuse awareness training and mandated reporter training. And children with disabilities are more likely to be abused than their neurotypical peers. And so this is absolutely something we need to be aware of as parents. This is in any situation, not just public schools. So if you're new here, I'm Katie. I'm a mom of 4, including an autistic 4-year-old, and I've also been a teacher for almost 10 years. So I'm doing this video series on school choice for parents. So this one is about public school and our pros and cons. So first, to address the biggest fear that I have had as a mom of an autistic son, which is that mistreatment factor. I will say, as a teacher myself who's been in a variety of school situations, like the vast majority of educators are there because they love children, because they want to be doing it, and they really are trying their best. That is not to say that there are not some very bad apples out there. And we have to always keep our eyes open as parents and look for the signs of how our child is doing. And if your child is showing signs of just hating school, looking into some other options might be something that you need to do. Or looking into the school and getting some investigation going as to why. What is happening? Why does my child hate school? In my case, right now, we're in the best school district in our state, and my son is in pre-K and he loves it. Every day we get a little report on how he did, and I love his teacher, and it's a very good situation for us. And that can absolutely be your situation at the public school. A lot of it is dependent on the school district that you're in. And when we moved over the summer, we were intentional about finding a house in this school district because the adjacent school district right next to us has way worse rated schools. And you might already be in a school district that isn't great and not really in a position to move. So what do? You can check out my videos on homeschool and private school where I talk about some of those other options and the pros and cons. Aside from that, if the local public school is really your only option, then you just need to always be the fiercest advocate for your child. So the first step in that, if you're new to all of it, is requesting an IEP. IEP stands for Individualized Education Plan. I have been in meetings for this as a teacher, but I am not a special needs teacher. And so I've read a lot of them. I'm a drama teacher. And so I've read a lot of them, and I've been in a few meetings when they want the specials teachers to be there for a special case, but I had never been through the process of creating one. It is quite an extensive process. It took longer than I thought it would. If you're interested, I can do a longer, more extensive video on it. I'm going to do a 1-minute overview, but basically you request the IEP, and autism itself, a diagnosis, isn't a reason to grant an IEP. They have to do their own assessment. So it's a whole huge process. You request the IEP. They meet with you to talk about your concerns and determine if he's eligible for evaluation. Then they do the actual evaluation. Then they do a meeting to tell you if the evaluation is determined that he qualified for the IEP. And then you finally have the meeting where you actually do the IEP. And in my case, he wasn't even going to school because he's pre-K, not kindergarten. So he didn't even get to start school until the IEP was in place. If your kid is kindergarten age, they have to let them start school, but you want to get this in as soon as possible because they're legally required to do the things on the IEP. So if you don't have one set up for your child and they're just going to school every day, then they don't have any specific requirements besides what they would for a neurotypical child. So you absolutely need to get this started. If you have a diagnosis for autism, request the IEP. There's no reason not to start the request process. And then as your child is going through school, Be in contact with the teacher, see how your child's doing, check in on progress. If you have concerns, reach out to the school. Know your rights as a parent in general, know your rights as a special needs parent. When they give you here's your rights in the IEP process, actually read them. It's a lot of work. We have not been granted the just easy, straightforward path here. We, as parents of autistic children, have to do extra work every day at home, keeping our kids regulated. And even when we're sending them to school for other people who have been educated and how to educate our children, we need to stay vigilant because unfortunately, those statistics of mistreatment are accurate. Speaking of helping your children at home, I do have my 3 free autism visuals starter pack linked down below. And that will also sign you up for a newsletter to let you know when my full autism visuals are available, as well as progress on the autism songs that my husband and I are producing to support my son and other autistic children. Let me know if you have any questions about the public school system in general, IEPs, what on earth are you even talking about? Whatever you have to ask me, let me know in the comments down below or share your experiences with public school and going through that process. I hope you have a wonderful week.